Hello again everyone, this is Natsu. Today's video features an interview with Avril, a tutor from New Zealand on Cambly. She has experience teaching English in Japan and is also a language learner herself. I asked her about her experiences teaching English and her thoughts on language learning. Before we dive into the interview, there's one thing that I would love to explain quickly. I currently live in Australia, obviously an English-speaking country, and I also work here. Some of you might be wondering, why do you still have to use an online English platform? It's a great question, guys. I just wanted to explain the reasons, hoping they might inspire you on an English learning journey. First of all, even when living in an English-speaking country, it's totally up to me to make opportunities to speak and listen to English. People don't randomly start chatting with me on the street. If that happens, that will be quite weird. Another reason is more personal. I am determined to practice English more than anyone else. I made a promise to myself, so that's the reason why even though I live in an English-speaking country, I want to push myself further and practice conversation. For that, I use Cambly, which is a service that I'm genuinely happy with and have been using for a while. Another reason, which I'm going to discuss in the next video, the next clip, is to gain the experience of failing, making mistakes without fear. Some of you might have had the breakthrough kind of moment with English, where you stopped worrying about your English, you stopped being self-conscious. I believe that having experiences where you are understood with mistakes, grammar mistakes or pronunciation mistakes and all that, those experiences are actually so important for you because they build up your confidence. In that sense, Cambly is a total safe space. No tutors are actually expecting perfect English from me. So supportive and so professional as well. I go on Cambly not to have a perfect, sophisticated conversation. No, to make mistakes and reflect on them. I'm gonna talk more in the video, in the interview. It's such a great interview. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and a huge shout out to Avril, who gave me great insights and gave me such a great opportunities to do a bit of interview. As always, if you have got any questions, comments, please let me know. I would love to hear what you have to say, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, you're more than welcome to as well. Alright, let's get right into it. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Not too bad, thanks. It's freezing here.
Is it? Yeah, I can see you with your big scarf on.
Yeah, I need this as a warm-up. I just wanted to learn some Kiwi slangs. If you could teach me some, if there's anything you like, personally, your favorite.
Favorite Kiwi slang? Oh, there's we have a lot of words.
Yeah.
That we say. So for example, often people in New Zealand have holiday home, right?
Yeah,
whether it's at the beach. Do you know this one?
Let me guess. It's called it's bogo or something like that, wasn't it? No.
It starts with a B.
B.
B-A.
Batch? No, batch.
Batch, yes, batch.
Oh, right.
Yes,
yay. B-A-C-H, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right, B-A-C-H.
Right, yeah.
Batch. Yeah,
that's a cute word.
So I like this. We integrate a little bit of sort of Māori into our, which is the native language from New Zealand. So for example, sometimes people, instead of saying hello, they might say kia ora.
Yes,
so this means hello, which is kind of cool.
Yes.
And then there's a word, for example, for stomach, which is in Māori. We say puku.
Puku. Oh, that sounds really cute.
One other one that comes to mind is for bathing. So if you go swimming, we say togs.
Dogs, yes. So it's very Kiwi word, probably. You guys need that word, right?
Totally. I think now that I'm thinking of the sort of a lot of the slang, it is related to kind of the beach or going on a picnic or things that are kind of outdoors, right? We say chili bin.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah, do you know this one?
Yes. I don't know how Aussies call it. What is it called? I don't know. Do you mind if I just look it up?
Yeah, just quickly Google it.
Iski.
Yeah.
Why you have lived in Japan as an English teacher. First of all, you told me that you lived in Kochi. Was it Kochi?
I wasn't in Kochi City. I was in Kochi Prefecture, but I was in an even smaller little village in Kochi.
Okay.
So, I mean, the name of the village was Tosasaga.
How was it like? I mean, culture, because it's a, small town, and probably not many people are used to seeing foreigners in the town, or the same thing happens in my hometown as well.
It was, in a way, that was really good for me, because it meant that it forced me to speak Japanese and try, and everyone was so friendly, and they were so understanding, and they would all kind of wave at me in the streets when I saw them. Yeah, it was really fun.
In high school, was it, or in junior high school?
Yeah, well, I was in elementary and junior high school.
And I just wanted to ask, of course you taught English, kind of working on English together with Japanese kids. Were students shy? It depends on the age, probably. When they get older, they get a little bit more shy. That's my own experience, but how was it like?
Yeah. I mean, I found elementary school particularly, it was just, we were teaching through a lot of games, and it was basically just learning vocabulary. And they had a lot of fun as they got a little bit older at junior high school.
Sure.
And so sometimes depended on the personality of the students as well.
I remember when I was in high school, because I loved learning English, and I wanted to talk to the ELT. We didn't have many opportunities, right? So I was so excited. I tried to talk to him, right, in the class, and then other students were such a geek. I didn't like the vibes.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think it's really, learning a language is always putting you out of your comfort zone, right? So I think it's really important that it's a safe environment where everybody feels comfortable making mistakes, and it's okay to, if you mispronounce a word, that's totally okay. That's normal, right? Make a grammar mistake, to get a word mixed up, to ask I don't know how to say this. All of these are really important parts of learning a language, and so it is really important that you feel comfortable. So that you can just kind of have fun with it as well, because I think if you have fun, then it becomes a lot easier.
I know we talked about this a little bit last time. Small kids, they have fun, so they don't worry about other people, what they think about, but then as they grow older, they get a bit more self-conscious, and then they stop trying, getting out of comfort zone. And I was thinking, because we said that making mistakes is okay, but some people don't have that experience until you get that experience. Actually making a mistake is not a big deal. I think we actually can't get to know that. We need to have this kind of experience, talking to someone, and then meet someone who can, whatever happens, they're there for you to listen to the stories.
Unfortunately, often because we've had bad experiences, maybe we did make a mistake, and maybe people weren't kind, maybe we got told off, or maybe somebody laughed at us, or we had some sort of, kind of traumatic experience that made us feel really self-conscious. If we didn't have people around us to kind of say, it's okay, it's fine, it's fine to make, and there wasn't that support, then unfortunately we become scared to make mistakes. I think it is, this is kind of a lot of personal development work, right? Because it's not just for learning languages. This is kind of for everything, that, making mistakes in your job, in your life, that's part of life. But we are kind of programmed that it's not a good thing we can always change this. It takes work. It takes work, and it takes commitment, and some people it takes longer, but if you want to kind of override this kind of programming that we sometimes develop, you can do.
Yes, definitely. I often think learning English is reflecting upon myself too. So I try not to take it too seriously, but still I think actually that's the beauty of learning a language. It's not about the language, but you learn other things as well. That's why I just can't stop learning English, because it's just too fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's so cool.
Is there any strategies or some kind that you started implementing after you started teaching English in Japan? Did you see something if I start doing like this, then students can probably open up more, or
in Japan, because I was collaborating with the teachers, it depended on kind of, that collaboration, how that would go. But I found a couple of things are really useful. One is making the class fun, playing. I think that is probably the most important in a way. The one that we just mentioned, making it really safe, so making them feel comfortable, and it's okay to make mistakes. That reassurance was always really important. And then the other one would probably be making it relevant. So I think relevance is really important when you're learning a language. It's why am I learning this? What's important to me? So what are your hobbies? Tell me about your hobbies. Tell me about things that you're actually interested in. If you like cooking, then let's talk about food. If we're talking about topics that aren't interesting, sometimes it's kind of difficult to get motivated and excited, right?
Yeah, that's how you learn Spanish, right? Spanish or German?
Yeah, I don't know a lot of German, but I'm starting with food. And I love food, and I love like going to restaurants and cafes, and so this is a really good place to start.
Yeah, for sure. Another question will be about Japan. How can I say actually? In Japanese, we say the most favorite, like 一番のお気に入り. So the most favorite, but in English, there is only one word, favorite, right?
Yeah.
The best means favorite, isn't it? What was your favorite part of living in Japan? Besides food?
Oh gosh. Besides food. Yeah, let's take away food. That's a good idea. I think I really enjoyed sort of the rituals that Japan has, like the tea ceremony, or like the ability to go like really deep with something and make it into this, like what could be a very simple activity, like making a cup of tea, and turn it into this whole ceremony and ritual with so much significance and so much beauty.
Probably it's all from like a different bits and bobs of culture in history. I like the fact that in Japanese culture, for example, it's just like washing dishes. It's just a chore. Some people might not like it, but if you put your souls into it, it can be a beautiful, not chore, but how do I say, just
like a ritual? Would you say it's a ritual?
Yeah, ritual, isn't it? Yeah,
it's like the details. I mean, I know we said not food, but if we think about the presentation of food, for example, like that was for me so beautiful. I mean, I appreciate food, and for me it's like a really important part of my day, and I love sharing it with people, and I love also, I think when I left Japan, that was something I really took with me, was the importance, you'd use like all these little plates to like a little bit of pickle, a little bit of rice. What could be a really simple meal just became transformed into this really incredibly visually beautiful experience.
Recently, everything is it's all about efficiency. People are busy, I understand that, but
sometimes I think maybe it's not like, every meal you're going to do it that way, but at least some of the time you kind of make that effort, right? To just like, I just feel like learning a language is something that I think it's really changed my life. I mean, it feels so good to be able to communicate with people in their own language and express myself in a different way.
Right.
And I think that just really changed my mindset. And also the way that I learned the language was not so much from like a study perspective. Before we had so much access to the internet, I just had a little dictionary, like a Spanish English dictionary that I would have. I was at school, so I would have it on my desk, and people would say words to me in Spanish. I'd be like, I don't know what you're saying, and I would just translate them.
You need to suss out yourself.
Yeah. And so you figure it out, like you need to communicate, and so you do. It's just a really beautiful way to connect with the culture. And even if it's just starting with the basics, and I think people from that culture really appreciate it when you make the effort to.
They say, oh, I'm not really good. I feel a bit agitated because other people speak better English. I always feel like every time I hear such a story, I'm like, no, like don't. As long as you enjoy it, as long as you've got passion to be better in language.
Totally. I mean, it's really not about comparing yourself to anybody else. It's your own journey. I mean, there's really no comparison. So it's always just about making it your own and enjoying the process. I mean, you've got to have fun with it. I mean, I think that's probably one of the keys, right?
As a Japanese speaker, speaking English is not easy, for sure. It's quite difficult. But what I have learned over the years is if I can't speak English fluently, like perfect grammar and pronunciation and all that, I can cover up with other things. Like, for example, it might sound silly, but smile. Or gestures.
Totally.
Or you can always do something about it. So it's not about, how fluent you are. That's why communication in different languages is so fun, because it's not like A equal B or like 100%.
No, it's not an equation by any means. I think just being friendly, smiling, just, because that shows you're having fun.
Yeah, definitely.
Safe travels back to Japan.
Thank you very much. Avril, thank you so much. I do appreciate it.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Take care. Soon. Bye-bye.
Talk soon. Bye-bye.
I hope you guys enjoyed the interview. Cambly has started a new service, a new feature, which is so exciting. If you're interested, you're more than welcome to check it out from the description down below. I try to take a lesson on Cambly at least once in a week. The reason is simply because we need practice. We need experience, like talking to people with a different insights and different experiences. What can we do? You make the best of the services that you use and find the right service for you. In that sense, from the bottom of my heart, I'm so happy with Cambly. If you've got any questions related to Cambly, you're more than welcome to leave your question in the comments section. Again, thank you for watching this video, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you've got any questions, comments, please let me know. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, you're more than welcome to as well. Alright, I see you in the next video soon.